For generations, the Democratic Party was built on one simple promise: to fight for the American worker. That was the whole point. But today, their real priorities seem to have shifted. It looks like they're willing to risk it all, not for your wages, not for your job security, but for something else entirely. So what's the one thing they fight for that seems to prove they've lost their way? The Democratic Party of FDR, Truman, and JFK saw itself as the champion of the little guy, the factory worker, the farmer, the forgotten man and woman. It was a coalition built on the promise of a fair shot and a secure job. But that party feels like a ghost. It's been replaced by what some critics, even inside the party, call a coalition that has left the working class feeling disconnected. Just look at the unions. For decades, a Teamsters endorsement was a huge deal for any Democratic presidential campaign. Yet in 2024, they refused to endorse a presidential candidate. This wasn't a sudden breakup. It was the result of a growing distance. The Teamsters president noted that internal polls showed many rank-and-file members supported Donald Trump. Now, to be clear, broader surveys still found that unionized workers were more likely to vote for Kamala Harris than non-union workers were, and union campaign spending in 2024 still heavily favored Democrats. But the fact that the Teamsters leadership felt they couldn't endorse the Democrat tells you everything. When a foundational part of your base is publicly divided, it's not just a warning sign, it's an earthquake. Nothing exposes a party's priorities like a government shutdown. When the money is about to run out, you see what they truly refuse to give up. We saw this during the longest shutdown in U.S. history from 2018 to 2019, and we hear echoes of it in almost every budget fight. Whenever a shutdown looms, both parties dig in, but the conversation from Democrats often shifts from protecting federal workers' paychecks to defending key policy goals. We hear about non-negotiable demands to protect Affordable Care Act subsidies or other social programs. You can agree or disagree with those policies, but the point is how they're being defended. They are willing to use the livelihoods of working people as a bargaining chip. The financial stability of hundreds of thousands of federal employees becomes collateral damage. For a party that claims to stand for those very workers, that's a tough pill to swallow. Before we go on, if you think Washington's priorities are completely out of touch with what working Americans are dealing with, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. You aren't going to get this kind of analysis from the mainstream media, so who really gets caught in the crossfire of these political games? It is the hundreds of thousands of federal workers who are either sent home or forced to work without knowing when they'll get paid next. During the 2018-2019 shutdown, the U.S. economy lost an estimated $11 billion, according to the Congressional Budget Office. That's not just a number. That's missed mortgage payments and tanking credit scores. It's government contractors, often small business owners, who are told to go home and, unlike federal employees, are not guaranteed to get any back pay. And it's the American taxpayer who ends up footing the bill for the chaos. Taxpayers lost an estimated $4 billion from the last 3 major shutdowns just from paying for back pay and other administrative costs. Democrats argue they're taking a principled stand for their agenda, but it has a strange kind of principle that asks the very people you claim to represent to suffer first. It has a political strategy that starts to look at the American worker less like a person to protect and more like leverage to be used. This is the issue that seems to defeat the whole purpose of the modern Democratic Party. They appear to have fundamentally changed their mission. The party that once existed to give the working class power has become a party that seems willing to use the working class as pawns in a bigger power game for its agenda. They are no longer just the party of the lunch pail. They are the party of ideological battles, even if it means shutting down the government and hurting the people who built this country. The original promise of the Democratic Party wasn't complicated. It was about jobs, dignity, and economic security for working families. By that standard, the modern party's strategy seems to have failed them. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to see the truth.